Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem RICANS, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to my YAHAWAH who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this found captivity. This is Brother Kawah coming at you with another lesson. Proverbs chapter 24 verse 21, my son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. So today's lesson is going to be on this video that I just found today, basically entitled Seductive Women Pastors Destroying the Church, the Jezebel Spirit Gotta Go, and it's from this Eve, I guess, called Soft Heart Revelations. And I think it's funny and ironic, like how she's basically calling out the wickedness in the church, okay, which good on her for doing that, but at the same time she decided to, I guess, make a whole 20-minute plus video rebuking them and basically teaching, which, you know, obviously that's going off. All right, so I think it is still kind of funny how basically that works and that goes out, but I still do think that it's important to do it. So let's listen to some of what she's saying.
People want to say I'm judging. Okay, you want to say I'm judging people? How about you read 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2 through 6? It says, do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? You're supposed to be judging angels. We are supposed to be judging angels. That is his promise to us. And so if anybody want to say I'm judging, please consult 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2 through 6, and then come back to me. Y'all need to stop dressing like harlots. Y'all need to stop dressing like prostitutes. Y'all need to stop with these wigs and all these crazy looking eyelashes and all this crazy stuff. It's not necessary. Are you teaching young women that it's okay to show their breasts and their cleavage on a video for the whole world to see that you claim you're a pastor, a preacher, and a teacher? Why in the world? If you want to do that, go back to the world, but get out of the body of Christ with that. If you want to dress like a harlot and a prostitute, leave the church. Stop trying to have your cake and eat it too, for lack of better words. Stop trying to hold on to the gospel, but yet you're blaspheming the Holy Spirit at the same time. I see why men are telling us to be quiet, shut, and sit down. I see why they don't want us being pastors and preachers. Can I just say that? I see why men are telling us, and I see why Paul said what he said. When women get power, look what we do with it. If you call yourself want to be a pastor or a preacher, at least dress right. You already out of line for trying to run a church. You already out of line for even really trying to dominate and exercise authority over men in the church, because Paul already made that clear. And then you want to add insult to injury by getting up and showing your behind and twerking. Child, are you? Okay, this is crazy. I can't even believe I've seen this heifer sitting up twerking like this in a church. Child, you got your everlasting mind. Let me just say that you got your everlasting mind. Whoever this is, I hope y'all know who it is, and I hope y'all link her to this video, because you need to sit down somewhere. And I don't care how you feel, because more people need to be calling these folks out. With young women who don't know any better, young men in the church being led astray by females with a prostitution and harlotry spirit. How do you feel about coming in the church and these little boys in there whose hormones are raging, and you sitting up in a tight dress, shaking your behind with your cleavage out? I can't even believe I gotta say this. I can't even believe this is even a discussion. Y'all should know better. Y'all should just know better than that. And ain't no man insecure, so don't pull that stunt. Ain't no man insecure telling you to cover up. You look like a prostitute. Boom. I always want to go and run and come for somebody personally. What about you? Why do you feel the need to come out here looking like this? And you claim you are a Christian. Again, I'm not talking about worldly women. They already know what side they on. They ain't trying to act like they love Christ. They not trying to act like they preachers and pastors. So I'm not talking about women in the world. I'm talking about you, so-called woman of God. What is wrong with your understanding? Get in the scriptures and understand that you are out of line. And if you're going to be teaching, you need to teach what's right. And I hope that men keep on telling us to shut us down, because that's what we need. Yeah, I hope they keep making y'all mad, because y'all do need to sit down. Y'all do need to be quiet. And y'all do need to learn in silence. Y'all do need to learn in silence and also submissiveness, because this is what you get when you allow women to take control.
Feeling like crap, and then you show up dressed like crap, you see other people looking great, and it makes you feel more like crap, and now you're upset.
Your camera right now, on your screen right now, the way that some of these women dress, and some of these women, and they know exactly what's happening. You have something that's form fit, it's fitting your hips, it's fitting your behind, it's fitting your breast.
Women are out of control. If you are dressing this way, if you are drawing attention to yourself.
All right, so basically you saw all that. I thought it was a very important lesson, as well as very I'll be honest, and I'll say I do think that it is funny to kind of like see this type of stuff. Like you genuinely have people who like think that this is okay. You genuinely have people who, you know, have no issue with doing this type of stuff, and then yet they still talk and act like, God loves me when I do this type of stuff, blah blah blah. It's like just speaking as a man, for me personally, I think that this is type of funny. And again, well, not again, but I guess basically the issue about this is just that, you know, this is not what Yahawah or Yahawah or Yahawashi wanted, even said, or anything like that. You have these these worldly women, which again, this is what she was saying. You have these worldly women that are that just try to mix truth with the thing, and like, and honestly, this is what I've been seeing more recently. All right, you have these like prostitutes and hookers and stuff like that. They don't like going in their little element, their little their environment of their whole prostitution thing, to dealing with those people. They just want to go and corrupt. They want to go and corrupt other people. All right. As a matter of fact, this reminds me of this very big, consistent thing that was and / is still going on with the website twitchtv.com. Okay, where it basically they allow women to be in like what's it called, like bikinis, to do quote unquote hot tub streams. All right, when the whole purpose of that is just to have these kids watch basically borderline like softcore, softcore porn. All right, that's basically the purpose of that, and apparently that retains viewers. But the thing is, or the problem with that is that there's no like adult section and stuff like that. So it's like these kids are basically allowed to be able to watch anything on a stream. So like if you hold on, if you go, let me if I can, I'm gonna try to see if I can show it. Yeah, I can show it, but basically if you go like on a regular on no account and you try to watch what's it called, you try to watch like any of these hot tub streams, like I'm like, you're able to watch it. Like you don't need to go and verify that you're like 18 or older. So if you do that, then it's like, yeah, like these kids are able to do that, and then they're allowing this type of like what's it called, this borderline sexual things to be viewed by kids. And then on top of that, it's like if people go to the church to to try to get spiritual. They don't go to church to see some half naked woman and stuff like that. But this is what they are showing or thinking that it's okay to do. All right, they're showing that, oh yeah, it's okay for kids to look at the female pastor's ass and stuff like that, and see the woman twerking as you saw in that video. All right, all these different sexual stuff and stuff like that. It's like you shouldn't be contributing to that thing. Like again, as I said, it's like, why don't you go to the club to do that? Why don't you go to these actual corn sites to go and do that type of stuff? But it's simply because they want to corrupt the children. They want the children to start looking at these things. And I think, and honestly, speaking as a man, like I think that this has more so to do with people's fixation on children, because it is usually these I guess liberal, if you want to call them that, liberal people that have more of a desire to doing these types of stuff. As liberals, on average, they tend to not want to have children. Liberals, regardless of if they are alphabet or even straight, they just tend to not want to have children, men and women and all that. Okay. Shit, I hate when that doesn't work. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5: the vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. All right, so the vile and liberal are basically are basically the equivalent. All right, this is what we are experiencing. This is what we're seeing right now. Okay, and this is what we're seeing right now because you have these different people doing all these different things, and they just want to corrupt someone else's children. All right, this is why it's kind of like not the best thing to do in this society, especially in addition to not in addition to not doing it in this society, but just in general. Given the fact that we are so close to the end, it's just not wise to have children. Obviously, if you end up having children, then hey, that's the Lord. That's what the Lord set up for you. But ultimately, it's not wise because you just don't know. Especially if you take your kids to school, you don't want your kids to be taught all this stuff behind your back. All right, like that's a very scary. That's a very scary thought. I must say, like I would, because I heard a whole bunch of different things. I've seen all these videos of these parents, primarily my parents, that complain saying, who said that you guys could bring this alphabet person in the stuff to teach my kids and show all this stuff. All right, and there was this one teacher that was a dude, all right, who got these freaking fake breast implants, stuff like that, these oversized breast implants, and he's just teaching in front of these kids, and the kids were literally saying in the interview that they were uncomfortable with it, but the school was saying, oh, we support him, it's fine, he can do whatever he wants. It's like, what about the kids? Like you're literally making an uncomfortable environment for the children to learn. All right, like it's just like they're just doing whatever they want. They just don't care, and so it's just really like disgusting. Honestly, it's genuinely just disgusting to see this type of behavior. All right, but continuing on. It's just like this is the stuff that we are getting at. All right, but I will say, I said what I said in the beginning, but I will say that this Eve is doing a good job in bringing this out, because I did not know. I never actually seen a female pastor before in person. So I've never actually seen one or gone to one. I barely went to church. I was always freaking forced. But even then, I guess that was way back when I was young. I never went to church. Well, I mean, sometimes, but whatever. It's just you get the point. I just never seen a female pastor. Anyway, so this is what we're at, and it's just like they have this fetishization, which honestly I think this is an ironic thing that is basically YAHAWASHI pushing this onto the forefront, where you have so many virtue signalers that are trying to say, oh, we need to protect the children, we care about the children and stuff like that. And it's primarily these liberals that say this type of stuff, but at the same time it is also, at the end of the day, these liberals that have some of the most apparent fetishizations of children, while they're also the people that go the hardest to claiming that they want to protect children. All right, so I just thought that was a very funny thing to point out, and also goes to show their hypocrisy. All right, it's very apparent. All right, continuing on, 2nd Ezra chapter 14 verse 17. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. All right, so yeah, as time goes on, we are getting weaker. We've gotten to the point where women are almost some women almost have as much testosterone as some of these men. See some of these effeminate men and stuff like that. All right, or some of these women just have as much testosterone as the average man. All right, which again, like that's not even an insult. Well, it is an insult to everyone. It's an insult to both the men and the women. The women should not be being that freaking masculine, and the men shouldn't be being that effeminate to the point where you're competing with these women in terms of testosterone levels. All right, like this is wicked. This is completely off. All right, and then on top of that, like things are just being weird, getting out of hand. It's just like nothing is going right. Nothing is proper, if you will. All right. So yeah, this is where we are Slakia. This is where we are moving to, where we just need to continue to pray and ask the Lord YAHAWASHI to get us out of here, because like I don't want this. All right. It's just like it's like, because there's a whole bunch of stuff with the passport, bro. Like I keep on hearing so many brothers say that if they had the money, they would, do it. And I'm not gonna lie, if I had the money too, I absolutely would, get me a wife from one of these other countries. I hear that I think the Philippines is the best. I think last time I heard, but obviously, like that's not the thing. And as I believe it was Apostle Paul that said, it's better that you just don't even deal with a woman in general. So even with sisters, maybe if you don't have Slakia, if you don't have someone, then that's just fine, because the thing is, even if you claim to be in this truth, there's still an underlying spirit in you that might not be ready, or I guess fit to be in a relationship to begin with. So honestly, just like if the Lord, I'm not gonna say like me, I'm gonna say I'm trying, but if the Lord gives you or sends you someone, then that's the way of the Lord, and you just to trust the Lord. As the Lord said, his ways are not your ways, and his thoughts are not your thoughts. Isaiah 55. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 8, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. All right, so basically, we don't understand how the Lord's going to do stuff. We don't understand. We don't know how YAHAWASHI handles stuff. So as a result of that, just be patient, have faith that either the Lord's going to send you someone your way, or the Lord's going to send you someone during Jacob's trouble, after Jacob's trouble, whatever, or maybe the Lord doesn't want you to have someone right now, all that jazz. Because I basically had a dream, and I already made a lesson on the stream before, where for me personally, and I think parabolically, I think it does kind of apply to other brothers as well. So if there's some brothers that don't have a rib and whatnot, then I think that's also that dream that I had also kind of signifies to whom it may apply, or to whom it may concern. A matter of just waiting until after Jacob's trouble, during Jacob's trouble, and whatnot. Well, I would say more so during Jacob's trouble, because that's how the dream happened, where it kind of felt like during it, but I was saved earlier from it. All right, so I got delivered earlier from it, and it's because of stuff like this, where it's just like there are these different things that the Lord kind of shows us symbols and shows us signs. You just have to be able to better understand it. Okay, which the understanding comes more so in learning more of the scriptures. All right, and I can attest to that, given the fact that the Lord has allowed me to be able to grow in knowledge and in wisdom and an understanding of the scriptures, to the point where a lot of these things are a lot more apparent to me. All right, because I'll take this for example. I just feel like, let me see, in Revelation 4, I think. All right, so there's in Revelation chapter 4 verse 7, and the first beast was like a lion, the second beast was like a calf, the third beast had a face of a man, and the third beast has the face of a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. And basically the lion is courage, or represents courage. The calf also represents ox, which also represents strength. The man, the third beast, which is a man, is wisdom, and the fourth beast, which is the flying eagle, which is basically flight. These are the different symbolism, all right, in the scriptures, as well as the understanding. And when I see certain things like this, all right, when I see certain things like this, it allows me to better understand. I have a greater understanding of what the Lord is trying to tell me, because prior to me knowing stuff like this, for example, okay, because I'm not saying that this is just always going to be a one-to-one thing, or if I see a man, that's automatically wisdom. No, that's not the thing. It's just like you're gaining the wisdom, you're gaining the knowledge, but at the same time, the Lord is guiding you in how to actually interpret and understand things, like, for example, a dream. All right, but continuing on back to the topic, Slakia. Back to the topic, it is very important that we don't just we as men, we act appropriately and lead properly, so that there isn't any mix-ups and stuff like that. Mix-ups in thinking that, oh well, this is where there's some issues, or we're going against this, or we have to do this, that, and the third, whatever, where it's just like, no, like we can't be doing that. We have to be leaders. We have to be the men. We can't let these women, we can't let women lead us. We have to basically take charge, as that's what the Lord set us up to do. All right. And that's been a thing where I've had to grow up in, all right, where I used to just not really care. I actually, funnily enough, I'll say, let me correct that. Basically, the Lord gave me leadership experience, all right, when I was younger. All right, I took that, and I do know how to better lead, but at the same time, it's just like, I just don't care to lead people. I just don't want to lead people. Like the leadership role, having had the position of being a leader, all right, in non-serious situations, it's not even that it's just too stressful, but the main issue is just that the people, having to deal with the people, it's just more problems than what it's worth. And it's just like, I don't even feel like if I'm leading someone and they don't want to listen, they don't want to follow and all that stuff, well, I don't care. I'm not gonna put in work to try to help save you and all this stuff, because it's just like, if you don't care about your own self, then why should I care about you? But the thing is that this is how it's supposed to be. These are the tests that the Lord puts us through, where we do have to do. We have to give these people an opportunity. Where it's just like, under that same token, then I would have just never returned to YAHAWAH. I would have never repented, because I was one time wicked. I was one time in the world. So it's just like, okay, so if you can't tolerate some bad behavior and whatnot, then why should the Lord tolerate bad behavior from you? All right, these are the things that we need to constantly remember. All right, so it's times like this where we try our best to try to get our people out of the wickedness that they're doing, but at the same time, it's just like, know when to just wash your hands and stuff like that. All right, who that was that? Let me actually get that. Bro, my mouse is Matthew chapter 10 verse 14, and whosoever shall not receive you nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that city, shake off the dust of your feet. House or city, shake off the dust of your feet. And that's basically the thing where it's just like, okay, you gave it your best chance. You gave it a shot. You gave it a try to wake someone out of their wickedness, wake someone out of what they were doing, and they didn't want to listen. Then it's just like, okay, well, you did your best. Now that's when you are able, you have, the blood is off your hands. As a matter of fact, let's get that in, I think it's Ezekiel 12, is it 12? Ezekiel chapter okay. Crazy. I don't even remember doing that. So I don't remember it being here. Ezekiel 3 verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So basically, you are removing the responsibility from yourself. When you warn someone, then there's no blood on your hand. You're not responsible for them following after wickedness, but after you warn them. But if you don't warn them, then that's you. You should have told them. The Lord set you up to be able to warn someone and tell someone of what they should and shouldn't do. All right. Now, now, basically, going back once again back to this, it's just like you have these Jezebel spirits, where you have these women that think it is okay to do this type of stuff. Where I already forgot about this. I wasn't even going to talk about this because we don't need to. I don't need to, because they already know. Everyone already knows. All right, that these women should not be teaching. That's just one thing altogether. That's one whole thing. Okay, I don't need to go into that. Literally everybody knows. But the second thing is the more important thing is the corruption factor, the desire to corrupt, the desire to corrupt, and that's where these major issues stem from, where you have these women that are so fixated on doing that. All right, so let's bring this home. Romans chapter 1 verse 25, who change the truth of Yahawah into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And this is basically what they're doing, where they constantly want to change being modest. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was going to say. Slakia, because I was trying my best to remember that one thing. First Timothy chapter 2 verse 9, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, and not with broided hair and gold or pearls or costly array. And these are funny. That's actually pretty funny. But yeah, these are these women that are not in modest apparel. This is not modest. As a matter of fact, let me see. There's that one more. Discreet. Titus chapter 2 verse 5. Titus chapter 2 verse 4 verse 3, the aged women likewise that they be in good. Let me start over. Titus chapter 2 verse 3, the aged women likewise that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. And very funny, very beautiful scripture, and very ungodly behavior by these women. As you know, this is what they are teaching these young women. All right, this is what they're teaching these young women.
Something that's form fit. It's fitting your hip. It's fitting your behind. It's fitting your breast.
Women.
This is what they are teaching the young women. Now imagine that. Imagine these people thinking that it is okay for little young girls to go up on stage and do this type of behavior, not just by their wicked ass parents, but by their wicked ass pastors. And you know how freaking Jake loves their freaking church, loves going to church. So then when they see the pastor doing it, it's like, oh, so this is an okay thing to do. This is a good thing to do. Let's go continue to do that, which is why the Christian church is so wicked, which is why we can't. And obviously, I don't want to say this in like a general way, even though I do kind of want to say it in a general way because I just don't like the church. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to flat out lie. Obviously, there are some, churches that do attempt, keyword attempt, to teach properly and tell and, raise up children right, obviously. But, they are, if I had to throw out a number, they are a minority compared to the general consensus of the Christian church in general. I'll say in general. So yeah, you have these different people that are going against, and it's just like these women are supposed to be, setting a proper example, but yet they are, again, as I said before, they're taking that liberal mindset of wanting to corrupt other people's children. Okay, like they don't even want to have children of their own. They just want to be able to corrupt others. All right, and it's a very sad sentiment for the people that actually want to have children, but yet their children aren't being taught the proper values. They're being corrupted into Esau's values in that perverse spirit. All right, they have those freaking books in the schools where it's all about freaking sexual perversion and and stuff like that, like basically teaching children how to perform oral sex and stuff like that. Like that, I literally saw the book. Like those are books that were made for kids, and then they go into detail on how to do all these freaking sexual acts. Like it's literally just a corn book. And I think they showed like little images and stuff like that and say, oh look, it's a little kid. When Slakia, like I know I'm going into too much detail, but like this, if you're disgusted hearing me say it, then you should be even more disgusted if your child reads it in school. All right, for you, that's why you really gotta look. If you have kids, you really have to be aware of what they are teaching. What are they being taught? All right, you don't want that type of sickness in poisoning your children's mind. So basically, with that, I pray this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Rakak Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Abba, and Shalom.